What's up, guys? It's Andy. I'm sick today, so I apologize for that. Might get someone to narrate this. I don't know. But today we're going to have a short little lesson about one-sided limits. And let's consider this limit right here. Limit as x goes to 0 of 1 over x squared. Well, if we draw a graph, we know that 1 over x squared looks a little something like this. We know that, as it goes to 0, this is going way up to infinity, so we can just say that's infinity. But what if we got this one right here? Limit as x goes to 0 of 1 over x. Well, this side is pretty easy. It looks roughly the same. It goes like that. However, when x is negative, when it's over here, the x is going to make the number negative, and it's going to go like that. And now we're trying to find the value when x equals 0. And we know, well, this is going up to infinity, this is going to negative infinity. Who is right? Well, no one's right. It doesn't exist. So the question is, how do we evaluate it? How do we deal with this? And the solution is one-sided limit. And this basically says, as x approaches some number from one side, what's it going to be doing? So notice one side. And what are the two sides? They're plus and negative. Or positive and negative. Plus and negative. Don't get sick, kids. Anyway, from positive side, that just means you're going to be going downwards. So, imagine plus is over here. You're going to be going to the left. From negative, well, you're going to be going up. And it might seem a little confusing at first, but just remember, positive before negative, positive goes left, negative goes right. And now we got some examples for you. Well, let's see. Limit as x approaches 2 from the positive side of 3x squared over x minus 2 to the third. Well, we can do this graphically, or I can think for a second. My mind's kind of fuzzy. Alright, so 2 minus 2, imagine that this is a number that is actually greater than 2, just barely greater than 2. So this is going to be like 0.00000001 or something like that if we do this. Now to the third, well, that's still going to be a really small number. That's going to be way smaller than this one. So we know that as that happens, then the bottom is going to, get really small, and we got something that's relatively big up here. And in mathematical terms, we call that infinity, so that's going to be infinity. Now, just to show you guys that if we change, hang on a second, if we change this to a negative, pop, it's a negative. Alright, what's it going to do? Well, we got something that's slightly smaller than 2 here, so that's going to be negative point whatever. So that's still going to be very small, but it's a negative. And so if we change that to a negative, it's going to be negative infinity. And that's where one-sided limit is useful for dealing with stuff like this, where, you got that going on, kind of. Anyway, let's move on to a more interesting one. Alright, limit as x approaches negative 4 from the negative side of x squared over x minus, or x plus 4. So from the negative sign, that means we're going up. So that means it's going to be a positive number, but it's going to be really, really small, because we're going to have something slightly greater than negative 4, so negative 3.99999 or whatever. So that's going to be very small or very big. That's going to be infinity. And here's a function that we didn't talk about yet, ln of x. And for those of you who don't know, there's a magical number, let me just make a side note, called e, which I'll define later in a different video, but just know that ln is the inverse function of e. So ln of e is just 1. It's the inverse function. And ln of x as x goes to 0. Well, ln of x, if we draw it out, it looks a little like this. Like that. It goes down to negative infinity here. And, oh, that's supposed to be a plus sign. Or wait, no. Alright, so from the negative side of 0. Well, there's nothing here. We can't figure that out. So this example shows that just because we got a one-sided limit doesn't mean that something can't still not exist. So this is just going to be does not exist. Now if it was plus, then we would get negative infinity. Anyways, that's a brief little lesson. I'm not feeling great. So yeah, that's limits part 2, I guess. I mean, just elaborating on one-sided limits. Just remember, from positive, you're going to the left. From negative, you're going to the right. All right. Peace out. I'm Andy. See you later.